As we sit here today, Mike Norvell, not this year and probably not next, is fighting for his job. There's no other way to look at it. Mike Norvell has successfully squandered all of the goodwill that was built up by turning this thing around pretty quickly in a 10-win season and a 13-win season. All of that has evaporated. All of that is gone. The evidence of whatever that was seems to have left us in the lurch, and what we have now is a product on the field that, not just by Florida State standards, but by any standard, for a big-time Power 4 conference football team is unacceptable. A lot of people will tell you that you're going to have to go out and bring 15, 20, 25 players in from the transfer portal. I would suggest you not do that. I would suggest you bring in 5 can't-miss, awesome-ass players. Plug-and-play starters, ass kickers day one. Cam Ward types. I would go find me a starting quarterback. Now, that means Brock Glenn's gone. So be it. I would have a long conversation with Luke about how I think he's the future, but I'm not ready to start him with the mess that we have on our hands right here. He'll be the backup to whomever this starter is that I'm bringing in that will hopefully change our fortunes for next season. Got to have a good quarterback. I'm going to go overpay for the very best quarterback that is available that has a proven track record of being very good. If there's even one in. History says there will be one, maybe 2 that you feel very good about. I'd go get that guy. I'd go get a huge difference maker off the edge at defensive end. And I'd overpay and make sure I have a guy that is as a disruptive force in college football as you'll see. A havoc player, okay, off the edge. I'd probably go out and overpay a left tackle. I'd make sure I had a legitimately good left tackle. So now I have a defensive end, I have a quarterback, and I have a left tackle. From there, you could pick maybe 1 or 2 more spots that you believe are of vital importance. Defensive tackle would be one of my positions of choice, and I'd overpay for a certifiable badass in the middle of my line. Absolutely would do that. And maybe one other guy. And I'd save the money on the other 10 to 15 players that you're wanting to bring in, perhaps sprinkle that within the roster of good young players I have that I'm trying to keep from preventing from them leaving, okay? And I'd go from there and understand that I'm not winning anything, but maybe I can go 9-3, maybe I can go 8-4, get us back on track. I would make those changes to the coaching staff that I alluded to, and maybe, just maybe, I still have a job at the end of 2 years from right now. It's unacceptable. They're the worst in this league, just about. Sure, if you want to in a vacuum, we can argue about, would you be favored over North Carolina right now? Would you be favored over Duke right now? You might. Do you think with any degree of confidence that you'd win those games? Not with any degree of confidence. But I would say at the end of that conversation, what the hell are we talking about? Why are we having this discussion? This is Florida State football. What are you doing? What have you done? What have you wrought? This is humiliating. This fan base is humiliated. Those players are about to check out. Saw some evidence of that in the second half of this football game on Saturday night. What do you think they're going to do when Clemson, who's a lot bigger and a lot stronger and a lot faster and angry about what happened a year ago, edgier to say the least, what do you think they're going to do when Clemson drops 24 in the first quarter on your ass? There's no quick fix. And now I have to have a conversation with you about whether or not the head coach is a dead man walking. Because he might be. I could be wrong. He could get it turned around. We are in an unprecedented era of college football. There are things in place now that allowed for the turnaround under Mike Norvell and his ability to exploit those things, recognize those things, pounce on those opportunities to turn a program around. They're still there for him now. It's a different set of circumstances. It's a different modus operandi as we move forward, but it is still available to him in a way that could maybe, in this set of circumstances, allow for you to get it turned around. Ordinarily, if this were yesteryear and we didn't have access to a transfer portal or unlimited transfers in general, I would tell you he's done. That the momentum is gone, that you've squandered all of the goodwill, you can't recruit anymore, and that this is a matter of, time. May still be. That's the sad reality we find ourselves in, is that the guy we thought was the guy that gave us proof that he was the guy has somehow now turned around and inexplicably wasted all of that faith, belief, and goodwill. And I don't know how it happened. I can't fathom how it happened, but here we are. The evidence is on the field. When you watch this team play and the anger you feel inside, after a while it diminishes, right? You don't get mad anymore. But you do sit back, I think, to a large degree in disbelief as you flip the channels and watch other teams play college football. It's remarkable. Almost every game I tune to, I'm sitting there watching Kentucky beat Ole Miss on the road. Mark Stoops' staff, excellent staff. He's an excellent coach. They're on the road beating Ole Miss. You see how physical they play? Do you see how quickly their players trigger, read, react, trigger, and fight and fly to the ball? You see how physical they are? Go around and you look. There are no shortage of teams that have great certainty in what they're doing. They may not be any good. Some of them you watch, you're like, there's a little bless your heart. You're fighting your ass off. You believe in your head coach. You're just not big enough, strong enough, fast enough to pull it off this weekend because you're going against a juggernaut and you're not going to get it done. But man, do you fight, and man, do you play with an edge, and man, do you believe, and man, are you certain with what your assignment is, and man, do you play physical. Good on you, kid. That's why I love the game. But you never say that when you watch us. You never look out on that field and say, boy, they are, I'll tell you what, to a man. They are locked in. They know what they're doing. They're triggering. They're playing fast. They're firing off the ball. They're tackling well. Their heart's in it. Their head's in it. They feel it. They care deeply. They may not be good enough, but man, I'm proud of them. You don't ever say that watching us. You might say it about an individual for a moment. I thought Josh Farmer played as good a football game as can be played as a defensive lineman a week ago. He's played hard every game this season, by the way, but there was an example of a guy you're like, that translates. He's probably going to the league and he's playing really hard. Good for him. But you just see pockets and little moments. You don't see collectively a defense that does that, and you certainly collectively don't see an offense that does that. Now, I'm not telling you they quit. I'm not telling you that this group has checked out forevermore and is not going to play hard. I am saying that the defeatist in them is evident around every turn the second something goes wrong. They no longer believe. They don't believe that they're going to be able to overcome that. They don't believe that the offense is going to go down and make a play when they have to have it. They don't believe that they're going to, after this turnover, get this opportunity to turn the game around and change everything back in their favor. They don't believe that. They don't believe that. You can see it in the way that they look at each other, the way that they look at the coaches, the way that they play. It's a lot to take in.